Hello and welcome to the Third Deck podcast. I'm James and I have crippling depression because this is our second recording because I forgot to record the mic the first time. I'm joined by...
our guest, Antonia.
Hello. I'm just laughing at how stupid both of them are.
And
Also, I'm Anthony, because I also have crippling depression. Today we're going to be talking about the topic of Berlin, which was a 3-day trip about the history of Nazi Germany. And the reason why Antonia is our guest today is because she also came on the trip with me. But James did not go because he is too awesome to go.
Well, I was kind of just doing Minecraft. I made this super duper cool sugarcane field and I got some money.
You can't let stuff like that, like Minecraft, get in the way.
Mean, Minecraft is superior to everything, like World War III starts and you go, hold on, I need to finish my Minecraft. Okay, give me a second.
Finish my diamond mining, okay?
Yeah.
Just don't do that.
I'll throw up a picture of my sugarcane field on Skyblock. It took me so damn long.
Okay,
James,
cool.
I don't know if you know this, but we are actually recording a podcast right now.
I'm sorry.
It's your Minecraft.
Yeah, it's not go off track.
Yeah.
Continue. Right.
Do you have any questions, James, about Berlin? Because we're happy to.
I do. Why did you go to Berlin in the first place?
Well, you already mentioned that, James. Keep with the podcast. Jesus.
I can't even talk properly because you guys are just making me laugh. And then I just found a bunch of photos from Berlin. And there's this one where we were waiting. This is the last day. And we were on the coach. And while we were waiting at the red light, there was this random man. He started juggling in the middle of the road. And I just have a bunch of photos of it. And he just had this weird hat on. And he was just juggling. And then the coach could have run him over any minute, It was just a life or death situation. But he was just there. And then we started clapping when he finished. It was great. Only in Germany,
Wow.
Only in Germany.
I did not see that, unfortunately. I was too busy taking pictures of the great architecture of Germany and then seeing this...
Bollocks!
I was looking at the spray-painted robot on this wall, and then I was just like, oh, what an illegal spraying thing. That was so good. But then...
Totally. Mm-hmm. Totally worth looking at a bunch of posters for naked people, which are all around the city, everywhere. Apparently they just don't have an issue with nudity there or anything, so it's just everywhere,
I'm just afraid for the children, really, to be honest.
I've got a quick question. How much money is an apartment in in Berlin?
We don't know because we didn't go into we weren't going to an insurance office. We didn't just go, hey, so sorry guys, can we pause this trip? We need to go to a property agency. We need to go look at some apartments. We don't know, James, but
where did you guys stay then?
Well, we didn't stay in a house. We stayed in a hotel.
It was more like a hostel, to be honest.
Yeah, but it had a bunch of English schools there, so we didn't feel completely isolated. But the only thing was that it was the windows were really big, so you could just see all out to the streets. People could just look in on you every morning. So that was kind of disturbing, but it was fun though.
Yeah. Speaking of looking in, we were going to the Brandenburg Gate, and one of our teachers started saying, look at the gate, look at the gate, look at the gate. And we were all like, why is he doing that? And then we turn around and we see this man, right? And you're seeing the back of him. And you can just see his bare butt and him waving to everyone.
Oh my gosh,
And we are like, what is happening? And then I just look down and I'm next to my friend Charlie. And we see the children and the adults and the old people all looking at the front of him. And I am scared. I am scared that this is happening. I'm like, oh my god.
So, can you see... Was it just his arse, or did you see his dick as well?
Yeah, so basically his dick had a blue plastic bag wrapped around it. So it was it was when you go to the deli counter and you order a sausage and they wrap it up for you so you can see the shape. It was kind of like that. It literally just covered his dick and nothing else.
I'm pretty sure though because he was protesting for LGBTQ, I think, and he was but he had made it so like it was like up down to his knee, and I was like what? And the reason why we know this is because as we were leaving, I turn around and I just see him turn around. I'm like, oh my god, and I'm just like, I just can't stop laughing after that because I see our teacher and one of our other teachers, and he looks back and his expression is just. It's just priceless. He's just in complete confusion to why he's turning around. He's like, oh, wait a minute. Why are you turning? Oh my god. And there's like, everyone, let's keep walking. Yeah.
It was so funny because as we were leaving, my friends and I like hung back a bit because we wanted to take some photos. And anyway, he turns around and he starts shaking his stick and doing like helicopters with it and stuff, like twirling it around as if it was like some sort of baton or something. And then we start waving to him and he waves to us, and this gust of wind like almost pushes him off the gate, and you just see him like butt first almost heading into the crowd, and a bunch of old people just like running back because they don't want to get slapped in the face by this guy's naked butt, you know.
And literally, they probably aren't even running though because they're old people. They're like sort of like stumbling away. Because they're like nearly falling, but then they're not because they're running. Sort of.
I was gonna ask for a photo of the juggler, but now I'm scared.
Yeah, I have like 3 of the juggling photos. I took way more because I was right at the front of the coach, so I literally had a great view. He had this amazing bucket hat on. You know, he looked like the #1 swaggy man. You know.
Could you post it in chat? So I'll put it in post. Post. I'll put it in post.
All right. Okay. We don't have any photos of the naked man though. I was too disturbed. No, I know people who have it, just I don't have any. But if I could get hold of one, I'll let you know.
Literally, there's someone on our trip, and he was in year 11 because we're in year 10. And there's this guy also called Charlie, and he's brought like a professional camera with him. And I just see him. He's got a plain expression on his face, like he's not like surprised at any of this, and starts like zooming in with the camera lens and starts taking photos. And I'm like, what the hell, dude? What are you doing? He's saying, taking photos of a masterpiece, like just in the most monotone voice. He's just like, taking photos of a masterpiece. I'm just like, I don't feel comfortable.
Oh my gosh.
And it was just near a public like monument, and we're just like, oh, this is so nice. And we just look back, it's like, oh.
I know it ruined the monument, but oddly, like it almost added to the experience because without him, it would just be some sort of gate. And then with him, it was like, oh, it's a man who is the nakey nake. So you know,
the nakey nake.
Yeah. Nakey nakes. That is my new favourite word.
And I forgot what the word was. So I just like improvised what the word naked was for like a solid 2 seconds.
Nakey nakes. I want a t-shirt that just says nakey nakes on it.
Right, we'll add it to... That's the merch. We'll get some merch going.
Oh god,
yeah, that's our
like
merch.
A really
nakey nakes.
Rubbish band you'd create in like year 7 called like, wow, we're the nakey nakes, yeah.
Yeah, it's like they're all playing the piano though because they don't know.
Oh yeah, and they sing songs about.
They get like the recorder out.
Oh god, they got the triangle and like the xylophone.
And then there's just that kid in the back who's just practicing his saxophone. He's like. It's just the epic sax
it's like
guy.
that, but it's just burp burp burp.
And there's that one person. And there's one person who think they can sing, but they really can't. So they just start going like, yeah, and trying really hard, but they just end up cracking windows for the wrong reasons, you know.
Cracking windows for the wrong reasons. That just reminds me of just so many YouTube challenges like, oh, today I'll be cracking a glass with my bare voice. And then they just see the windows behind them in their house just crack. I'm just like, oh, well, I cracked some glass with my voice. It's just not actually the glass, it's just his windows.
Yeah, literally.
Down goes the double glazing.
Down goes the double glazing. That is a sentence I've never heard. And my voice just curving out there. I didn't think I'd hear that sentence in any context, to be honest. That was quite surprising.
There's many contexts for me.
Context.
Context.
We have really gone off topic here. We need to talk a bit more about Berlin.
All right,
Right,
then. All right,
Berlin.
then. Literally, speaking of s***s, there was this guy, and he guided
Nice
us
transition.
from
Oh
he
God.
guided
Ben.
us from the German airport, and he led us on the coach, and he started telling us about the rules. And we're listening. I've got one of my headphones in because I'm listening to those sick beats. You know what I mean? And he just starts. And he just starts saying, if someone comes up to you and they say, can you spare a tenner? And they're just like, okay, and then he puts it in this box, right, or something like that, or he puts it in his hand, and he says, this guy, his name is like Bernd. It's like
Bernd.
spelled B,
It's
B-E-A-R-N-D.
short for Bernie,
Yeah.
It's
Let's just
like-
call him Bernie. Let's just
Yeah,
call him
like you're
Bernie from
saying-
now on.
We call him
Bernd,
Barney.
Bernd.
Barney.
Yeah,
And-
carry on.
And he literally, he puts it in your hand, and Barney says, he's supposed to make he's making you win, so he can give it back and ask for twice as much. And it's like, at this point, shouldn't you be like regretting the fact that you've given him money in the first place and given it back to you? That's just not normal. And then he says, oh, and then the police will come after you and say that that you've been like doing some bad stuff, and just like, oh, I'm sorry, I just gave him and it gave it back to me. Like, shouldn't he have AirPods? Like, what?
No, the thing is, the way he explained it was like some random German person was just gonna come up to us like in the middle of the street and just offer us or like ask us for 10 euros. It was like he was just expecting us to get kidnapped or something, you know. And also, even if somebody had done that, none of us could speak German apart from me, and I can't even speak that much. So like, we wouldn't even understand them anyway. So you know.
Yeah, literally. And also, when we got to the hotel, he to make us shush, instead of saying shh, he went and it was so funny because when he did it, he put his hands out like one of the teachers in our school, who I will not name because of legal reasons, which I don't know of, and he put his hands out like he was like trying to stop us from moving and just go. In fact, he looks kind of like some sort of god, to be honest, because he was trying to manipulate us.
It was the
It's
god
really
of Disco
funny.
Girls. No,
Yes, the god of Visco girls.
It was really funny because then somebody said, and I oop afterwards. I was like, I think it was Francesca, she was just joking. And then when he left, he was like, oh, and I oop. Did I say it right? And it was just microphone just like broke then. But it was just the funniest thing because he just obviously didn't know what was happening. And it was just ridiculous. I don't know. He was a crazy man.
Yeah,
then
I
we
can
never
just
saw him
imagine
again.
him. I can literally just imagine him in a circus, and he goes up to someone in the audience. He says, "Hey, what's this?" Just pulls out a scrunchie from out his earlobe. He's like, "What? A scrunchie?" And then just starts going.
Yeah, it's like a puka shell necklace and stuff.
On
Yeah.
the topic of scrunchies, right? My French teacher, which I shall not name.
Oh, I know who this is. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Miss
Wow,
Oh,
that's
God.
nice.
Every single time that she sees a scrunchie, she will like go like, "No scrunchies in class, no scrunchies. Either have them in your hair or up your ass."
Yeah. The thing is like that reminds me of Miss. I don't know what to call her, Miss Russian
Potato.
lady.
Miss Russian lady, yeah.
Yeah, you know who I mean. So she like has a scrunchie and she wore it on her wrist once, and then somebody's like, "Oh," and she's like, "Don't use that language. That sounds like swearing. No." And then she took a scrunchie and like threw it across the class and was like, "No, scoo." And it's like she was saying couscous. It was hilarious.
You know, speaking of this Russian lady, there was someone in our school, and he keeps going on pieces of paper and then writing memes on them.
Oh,
And he was in this person's class. I was not in the class at the time because I was doing something way better, probably not Minecraft or anything. And he and this Russian lady, she picks up this this boy's pencil case and she reads out one of the memes, and she says, what is this? And this boy says, it's a meme, miss. And she says, I am die. And she just reads it out, and it's just the funniest thing ever, apparently. And it's just, I was just thinking, I could just imagine this person, and I can just imagine him getting a detention just for like making a meme.
Was it Robert?
Yes,
Yeah.
this
is Robert.
yes,
Obviously,
boy is called Robert.
Who else would it be? Of course, it's Robert. But the thing is she's just the weirdest thing because she's really strict and serious, but sometimes she just says the funniest things and like she doesn't even realize. So she was saying, again, I don't have her as a teacher, I just know a lot of stories. But she was saying something about like what's life in an enzyme and stuff and things. But nobody heard the rest of the sentence, so it just sounded like she said, "What's the meaning of life?" And everyone got really confused, like, "Miss, we don't know, okay?" And then they had like this really conversation, that life is just about physics, and if she keeps focusing on physics, she's just gonna die, and then her like heaven will be covered in like pieces of molecules and stuff. It was really weird. I don't know.
Yeah, that's physics.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
love
also
molecules.
one time somebody like sneezed in her classroom, and somebody else said "bless you," and she's like, "Don't bless people. This is not a church." And it was like, and it was like, what? She's like, "No, this is not place for a religion. If you want a religion, you go to religious education classes. Goodbye." And it was like, why are you saying goodbye? It's been 10 minutes. What?
It's like, I didn't take religious education for GCSE. She's like, shut up.
Shut up,
Yeah,
stupid.
exactly. You stupid.
Stupid boy. Anyway, going back to Berlin, because this has just been about school,
Wildly
just
off
for this
topic.
podcast. And but it's more directed towards physics again.
Yeah.
Because on the last day in the evening, we it wasn't the last day, it was the second to last day, but it was the day of stuff.
Day of Berlin. Yeah.
The day of Berlin. We went bowling, which it took such a long time to get to, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I went with a group of boys, right? And they were like, "Oh, we've only got 4 people. What will the other teachers do?" And we have our physics teacher, who is
Mr.
Michael.
Chips.
Michael, we love Michael. He has
We
cool
love
tattoos.
Michael. Michael is amazing. And
Also,
anyway,
Michael emo because he wears shirts that say like "I'm not okay" on them and stuff. Just a little.
yes,
But anyway,
Michael
carry on.
emo.
Yeah, literally.
And we go to our lane and we start bowling, and he is the last person left to bowl, and we just see him and he starts going into this special sort of what is like a dance, and he starts putting the bowling ball down and he just yeets it across the lane, and he literally gets a perfect strike, and we're like, "Sir, how are you so good?" And he was just like, "Meh," and we're just like, literally, we only got 3 pins between all of us.
Yeah,
Did you guys have the bumpers up?
No.
No.
The thing
Oh,
is that like the rest of I was on another team, so I was gonna be on their team, but all my friends were like, "No, don't go with the boys," so I didn't. So we were across, and I had my go last, so I was just watching old Michael over there, and it was like some sort of god had ascended.
Yeah,
The bowling
god.
I'd never seen anyone. It was so amazing. And then, not to be impressed, they're like, "Oh, I've never done that before." He's like, "Oh yeah, whatever. That's normal. Everyone does that, right?"
Yeah, and then just 5 strikes later, he's just like, my arm's getting a bit tired now. I'm just gonna exchange myself for someone else. It's just like, what? How could you do this? You've literally just on such a roll of 5 strikes in a row. Why would you stop this? He's just like, meh. I'm just like, "Sir, you have a power which you are neglecting to use."
Exactly.
You
I
could-
mean, I never thought that. I mean, he's actually also a physics teacher. That physics teachers could be so
Cool.
adapt. Yeah, cool. 'Cause you've got
Hold
one
on a minute. Hold on. I
Yeah.
think that the reason why he's good at bowling is because he's good at physics, right? So he's able to calculate
Exactly.
how to throw the ball.
But does that mean Russian lady would be good at bowling? I highly doubt it. But
I highly doubt it.
In her high heels and her like.
Well,
Weird
that's only
glasses.
because she can't pick up a ball.
Yeah. No, I'm okay. This is really embarrassing, and I haven't told anyone apart. who are my team. So you know how in like when you're playing the Wii and you play bowling, and it's really easy to roll. It's really easy to roll it backwards.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and you have that scene where they all like jump
They
up.
jump up, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so I picked up a ball, didn't realize how heavy it was, and I dropped it. And it started rolling backwards, and like almost simultaneously, they hadn't planned it or anything. My entire team stood up and like went whoa and like rolled around. And
Yeah, that's.
it was literally like a real life game on the Wii. It was insane. And then I got really embarrassed because like I picked up a ball and it was too heavy for me to hold, so someone had to pick it up for me.
If you think that's bad, I went bowling once with my family, and the boundaries or whatever, the bumpers, they were up,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I picked up a ball, and I was like, hey, maybe I should try a light one. The finger spaces aren't even that small. And speaking of, they weren't actually that small. They were very small for my thumb. I have a big thumb, okay, and I was bowling.
I know.
And okay, I was bowling, and suddenly, as I'm going up, so I've gone back, and then I'm going up again, and I let go of it, but I let go too early, and it goes into 4 other lanes, and I'm like, oh my god! And then my dad's just looking behind me, and he's just like so angry. He's like, I'm sorry, there's the bowling ball. I was like, my dad's just triggered. He was like, how could you do this? The boundaries were even up as well, and you didn't even get one pin.
So did you
like,
did you throw it like a baseball across 5 other lanes?
Yes, but at least I didn't do it this time. At least
No,
I didn't
but
do it this
thing is,
time.
I thought you were just gonna say, oh, you know, my fingers got stuck, and then I had to like cut them out of the bowling ball and get stitches or
What?
something. That was. But that was way more entertaining than. I mean, I would have liked it for a story, but you know, let's save that for movies, not Anthony's fingers getting stitched up. You know.
Yeah. Also, on the other team of the bowling in Germany, they were doing the thing where the me characters spin around and stuff every time they got a strike, because they had the other history teacher.
Yeah.
They had the history teacher there, and he actually got some good strikes as well, and he got some good movement and all that. And
Hold on, is it your
every
history
single time,
teacher?
Yeah.
yes, it was just a history teacher. Anyway,
He's
and
mine.
his name is Charlie. Let's just say,
Okay,
and
yeah.
Actually, it is Charlie. But
It
anyway,
actually is.
so he throws the ball and he gets a strike, and everyone simultaneously on the other team does the me thing, like Antonia's group did, and we're just like, why is this happening? And then a boy who was in my room, and he was in year 11, and his name's Bobby, and he grabs the bowling ball, and he just he's not even looking at the lane, he's looking backwards, and he grabs the bowling ball and just shoots it through his legs and just gets a perfect strike. I'm like, how on earth are you doing this? Then the next kid, he starts doing a kamehameha and just starts yeeting the ball down the lane and gets another strike as well. If the next person gets a strike, I don't know what I'm going to do with my... And then the next guy goes and he spins around 360 degrees like 3 times. I'm like, this is going to go well. And he yeets it into our lane. And I'm like, oh my god. And it's like, that's even worse than me because he was intentionally spinning around. It's like, oh my god. Like, I'm afraid of this man.
Your team was like, or everyone else's team got like a bunch of strikes, and almost every single person got a strike. Our team, I mean, only one person didn't score 0 on the first try, and then on the second try, I still scored 0, and only on the third try did I actually knock down any pins. So that was great.
You're not the only one. I literally did the same thing, but then I got 9 pins down. I was like, yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, that was the closest I got. I got 9 pins on one of them, and I was so excited that on my second go, like for maybe getting a spare, I got too excited. I used it, and that's when it went behind me because it was too heavy, and then that was. Let's just not talk about that.
Well, at least he didn't throw it into the ceiling. Like, have you seen that GIF where the man throws it through the ceiling and the entire ceiling falls down?
Oh god, yeah. That is just like I think that started on a Vine actually, and apparently that bowling alley has never got fixed. So there's just a bowling alley somewhere in America that just has like a caved-in ceiling for no reason.
Yeah. And also, literally Michael, he was bowling, and there was one pin left, and everyone was like, give him a break. He's literally got 5 strikes. I'm just like, I respect this man now, not just because he does good physics, but because he's a bowling champion. He could probably do it with melons if he wanted to.
Melons.
Yeah, the melons are like wash on they like break in half on the like what's that thing called where you go to the bowling thing, the alley.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he'd still get it, to be honest, because the bits of melon that came off would just come shooting at the pins and just knock them all down.
I can imagine him being like in a war or something, and he like throws the melons and they split, and like literally the tiny seeds inside them start going through people's heads and just like killing them. It's like, sir, you're the most creative fighter of them all, and he's like, oh yeah, he's like throwing melons at people, and he's like, watermelon. That's a Vine joke for you.
Oh god, that was a funny meme. We love Vine.
We love Vine, except Vine 2.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. So
let's
on the topic of Nintendo, right? I was playing Breath of the Wild the other day, and my horse died.
Oh yeah, you texted me about that. That was really sad. We said
Yeah.
Well, I'm just looking at this picture of some fresh meat, and not the TV show, like literal like undercooked raw meat.
My dead horse died. Here, I'm looking at pictures of dead meat.
No, because I was thinking about like how Tesco had that whole like dead horse scandal. So that just like reminded me of it. So we should have a funeral for your horse right now, just for like a few, like 30 seconds on the podcast, just so everybody can mourn the loss of your horse.
Yeah.
What is it called?
Marmite. He's a black horse.
Marmite.
Well, he was.
You either you like it or you hate it.
Should I put like a Tesco's raw meat in the like chat with a picture of Marmite next to it?
Oh, that would be so
sad.
Oh,
that's so sad.
That's really. Okay. Well,
Wait,
yeah.
How did it die?
Well, as the responsible owner I am, I may or may not have tried to jump over a wall, and there was spikes on the other side of the wall, and then I couldn't get him off the spikes because he was dying, and then I kind of just left him there because he stopped taking the damage after a while, and I came back like an hour later and I couldn't find him.
I'd call that manslaughter or horse slaughter. I think you should be sent to jail now for killing your horse. Breath of the Wild jail.
Horseler.
Horseler.
No, don't say horseler. Like, don't say horseler. No.
Horster.
Yeah. So it could be for like horses or whores, depending on what you want to apply it to.
Pause.
No.
Woo! Oh god, that was perfect timing. As soon as you were like horse, my poster just fell down, and that was like I just had a mini heart attack, and I pretended like not to, but I just shit myself. That was terrifying.
Literally, my poster it's not even really a poster. It's more like a board, and it's really, really thick and hollow. You see, if my one fell down, it would go into my desk, into my computer, into my hourglass, which is only 1 minute long, but it has magnetic sand because I love magnetic sand, and it would go into my pug mug. It would go into my printer. It would go into more or less everything, and I'd probably be like no, and just
what
my
you need
poster
to do
would cause treason.
What you need to do, Anthony, is to move it above your bed. So when you're asleep, if it ever falls down,
it's like a guillotine that just chops off his head.
No, you'd either die and be decapitated, and then be like that scene in Game of Thrones in Twilight where they just all die, or you turn into Flat Stanley. You remember that book, Flat Stanley? Where he, like,
yes.
So then you could just become a flat man. You just come into school like, hello, I am 2D now. Nice to meet you.
Starts going under the doors and just like, hello. It's like people are just getting really scared. It's like, just for confirmation, my head is very, very thin in terms of width. So if it became flat as well, it would just be creepy to everyone, to be honest.
Right,
Because
there's like a bean, so that would just be a flat bean. It'd be like a pancake.
yeah, and you see, when like there's like ever a film or something where someone is so flat so that they turn the other way, so like their other side is so thin that you can't see what they're doing. I could just literally do that whenever I wanted to, and people couldn't see me, and then I could just jump out at them. But then someone from the other side would just look and be like, "What is that guy doing?" And I'd just be like making a random expression trying to scare someone.
Yeah, the thing is, you mentioning just having one board is really confusing because I don't know where I'm going with this because the reason I got reminded of Flat Stanley is because the poster that fell down was my Quentin Tarantino one. I know I'm under 18 and I watch the films, very rebellious teenager. I know I'm being illegal right now. You want to?
Does anyone over 18 watch them?
I don't know. I think like if you're a fan of Tarantino, then yeah. But like if you're like 20, like, oh, what do I want to watch today? I'm gonna watch the Quentin. I don't think nobody really thinks that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever talked about this, but my board is of the Hulk, and he has 4 toes, and I don't know why.
Oh my god! Wait, does that mean? Hold on. Does that mean one of 3 things? Either your poster is wrong, or Hulk has 4 toes, or Mark Ruffalo has 4 toes, and nobody ever knows about it.
You see, you're forgetting one option. That
What?
maybe Mark Ruffalo does have 5 toes, but when he turns into the Hulk, he loses a toe and gains a brain
Because
cell.
one toe actually turns into his balls, so Hulk has 4 balls. Or maybe he doesn't have any balls, and when he's Hulk, he has 2.
Guys, we've done it. We've discovered the conspiracy theory.
Woo! We are
Woo.
Shane Dawson. Who? Like we are the conspiracists. No, because I'm going on Google and I was searching, does Mark Ruffalo have 4? And before I could finish it came up with 4 feet, 4 nipples, 4 wives, 4 heads, and 4 tongues. What?
Well,
That's the
guys, we've
funniest
sold
thing.
it. He has 4 tongues.
Obviously. Okay, I'm having. Why is there no article about why does Mark Ruffalo have 4 toes? I need to know this thing.
Right, we're gonna make an article about how he has secretly 4 toes. You know why you can't find it? It's because it's a government conspiracy. They've blackmailed all the news
By the way,
agencies.
just for the funny Mimi laugh, I'm just gonna send you a picture of the board and the 4 toes.
Alright, okay.
Alright, I'll put it on screen now. There you
Okay.
go. Oh, look, guys. It's on screen.
Wow, we can see it so much. No, because the thing is, I came. Oh no, what?
He
No,
does actually have 4 toes.
no, I was searching it on Google, and it came up with a suggestion. So it's obvious people are searching it, but there's no results, which is really sad. Oh my gosh, he actually does have 4 toes. That's insane.
I know, it's so funny.
Did you just take that picture, or do you just have that on your phone, like, or just whatever you?
I
like,
would.
Nah,
I would.
nah, I just have it on my phone just to look at it when I'm feeling sad. Just
No,
like,
no, when you're away from
yeah.
home, it's just like you remind yourself of 4-toed man, and then you
Yeah, it's just looking on my phone soon, my love.
Foot fetish.
No, the thing is, it's a shame you can't see his other foot, because does his other foot have 5 toes, or is it just
yeah,
that?
maybe it has 6.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's it. Right.
We've solved the conspiracy. When the Hulk transforms, one toe moves from his right foot to his left foot, so one of them has 6, one of them has 4.
Actually, if you look in the top left-hand corner, there is a smaller version of the Hulk, and I don't know what he's trying. I think he's trying to stamp on some sort of mouse or something. And
Yeah,
he's
no,
got like, you can't really see it on the picture, but if I look up, it has 1, 2, 3, 4. It still has 4 toes. What? Literally, this is crazy. Hulk is actually 4 toes man.
Wait,
Oh
He's
my
not the Hulk.
That's
go check for
terrifying.
like the comics, like, because the comics are obviously right.
Just goes to the comics. What? I actually have a comic, actually. I will just
Hulk.
go and look at it now. You you might want to talk about the title still, but nah.
Oh, the title. Let's call about Berlin and the case of the missing toe.
Berlin.
No, because before we move on, you reminded me. So I have this poster of Kylo Ren above my bed. It's really small, but I have like a bunch of them. And anyway, in the daylight it looks fine, but at night all you can see is his lightsaber, and it looks like his dick is a lightsaber.
What, like, is it over your bed?
Yeah, it's right over my bed. I will send you. Like, I have two posters of Kylo Ren. I will take photos of them now and send them so you can put them on screen. Because I have one like big one and then one slightly smaller one. And both of them look like in the darkness, his dick is the lightsaber. Like, actually insane.
It's insane. It's
Yeah,
just,
it's insane.
I would be like genuinely scared if I saw that though. Like, it's just like
What, Kylo Ren's dick?
no,
Did they not turn
just
you
him
on?
there, just like what is his expression like?
No, because the thing is, can't even see it. It's just a blank expression with, lightsaber penis. Like, it looks fine when you're taking a photo, but in the darkness, it looks
Oh
like
my
it.
god.
No, I got the other one coming. The bigger version and it just looks like it. And it
Like, imagine if he had his mask off though, and he's just like still got that blank expression. He's just like, yeah.
yeah,
You
the
know it.
the director's
You
just
know it.
like to Adam Driver, like, just look really monotone because we're gonna Photoshop your penis with lights coming out of it. So just look
Oh my
really
God.
just done with lights.
Hold on, is there like a porno where it's just Star Wars characters, but they're flinging their dicks around and they have lights on their dicks?
Wait, it's the guy from the Brandenburg Gate. He's one of them.
Oh no!
He was casted for Kylo Ren.
He just didn't
Yeah.
get the part though because he didn't have the right
Face.
enthusiasm with the lightsaber.
Oh, right, yeah.
No. And also he showed his butt, and that's illegal. So
Yeah, just Chewbacca turns around and is like, "Arr."
that was a good Chewie impression. But who was it who said like, oh, Chewie was the first furry? Who was that? Was that you?
Oh, I don't know, but that's the thing that happened in Berlin, right? And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that it might have been me actually, but basically we were in Sachsenhausen concentration camp and we were talking about
wow,
Chewbacca.
fun. Yeah.
And we were talking about the fact is that because apparently you're into hair, Antonia, so we were talking about how Chewbacca was
That's
completely
made out
covered
fun.
in fur, and that what he would be like without fur at all. And literally someone from who we were walking around with, who was in my room, and his name's Leo, and he searched up Chewbacca with no hair, and it comes up with the most like nightmarish thing you can ever see, just ever. And well, if you put it on the podcast, well, you might scar everyone on this podcast. So if you want to do that, you can, James. But if
Okay, I've just
it's gonna cut
googled it,
now.
and oh my God.
It's terrifying, right?
No,
I know.
Anthony, you're right. I've just googled it, right? Star Wars came out in 1977, right? And I googled it. Is furry fandom was used in fantasies in 1983, and it became the name for the genre was in the mid 1990s. So
Oh my gosh, it actually was. That's shook,
Shook.
shook. No, because
Kylo Ren when he shook.
okay, can we just come back to a comment you made earlier, just to clear this up? So you said, "Oh, Antonia, apparently you're into hair," and then we just left that conversation there. Can I just explain what that means? Because it sounds really weird out of context. So basically, like, everyone was talking about what they're into. Like, so this guy called George was like, "Oh, I love thighs and stuff."
Yeah.
Yeah. More on that later. Anyway, and I said I like to have
More on
cool
that later.
hair. Yeah, I like people who have cool hair. Okay, so I'm not like into pubes and stuff like that. That would be weird. But you know, like I like it when people have interesting hair, or if their hair is like long and I can play with it, basically. But I am not like I don't see someone's head and go, yummy. I want to like sniff that.
Nice.
And equally, I'm not like racist against bald people. Okay, like they're very nice.
Racist against bald people.
You're just making it worse now.
Baldness.
Alright, so I just wanted to clear that up, okay, just in case there's any confusion.
Yeah, and just like we were like, because the person who mentioned about the thigh things, his name is George, and because apparently he has like we thought there was, let me think about this. There was this rumor that he had really fluffy hair, so we thought, oh, let's test that out and feel his hair. We all start feeling his hair, and it's really, really fluffy. And this is what brought up this whole conversation. This is also how we went back to the concentration camp, because we were late for the bus, and looked up a photo of more or less hairless Chewbacca and how we all got scarred for life.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
That was really fun. So yeah, so it was really weird, and then as soon as he said like, oh, I like legs, then like for some reason he looked at me, and I was like, just because my legs are long does not mean that they look good. Okay, they're very furry. All right, they look like Chewie.
Yeah.
They look like Chewbacca.
Yeah.
We would. I literally went up to said, "Do you like the length of the girth?" And he just looked at me like I was from a Area 51. He was just like, "Oh my god!" He was like, he was afraid to answer the question, because I was like, I looked like I had an intrigued look on my face. I was like, "So do you? Which one?"
Did he answer though?
He answered, yeah. He said girth.
Wrong answer.
Wrong answer.
It's like those surveys, like when they go, what gender are you? And you put down like male, it goes, incorrect answer. Correct answer was female.
Yeah. I just put male for lols, and that's illegal nowadays. You're not allowed to be male or.
Wait, that's illegal.
That's. You can't say that in 2019.
I know, you have to be. If
Anybody.
you do not sexually identify as an onion, then cannot be in my Christian Minecraft server, so get out.
What about an Apache attacker helicopter?
Helicopter.
Oh, yeah, totally.
It's just a
Hail
helicopter
Hyla.
on drugs.
Can I get
No, I think
Literally, just imagine in the future, just everyone watches our podcast, and then someone just like tries to offend somebody else saying that they're a lightsaber, and they just don't understand the reference, and they're just like, watch this podcast.
Dude, OG subscribers remember
oh yeah, but I
Luke
probably have
Skysail, the lightsaber dual-wielding penis guy from Berlin.
I feel really honoured that I'm in this second ever podcast. I'm like the OG guest, you know. This is real honour. Thank you.
Yeah. Also, if you want to be in it like more times about other stuff that's come up in life, you know, we'll probably just invite you, and if you can come on as well.
Yeah,
I think this might be a good time to do our outro if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been recording for 43 minutes. Jesus Christ.
And we've been on call for over an hour, so yeah, probably a good idea.
Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please put a like down below if you're feeling generous, and subscribe to see more.
Also, when's this getting uploaded? Because I want to watch it.
Probably.
We won't say that.
On Halloween,
We won't say it, James.
Or
We
after
won't
Halloween.
say it.
Okay, because I want to be narcissistic and listen to my own voice.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyway, Anthony, go ahead. Do
I
the
already
outro.
said it.
Well, say it again.
Okay. Enthusiastic. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please put a like down below if you're feeling quite generous, and subscribe to see more.
Bye.
And we'll see you in the next podcast.